Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Prohire TRUCKTV. I'm delighted to say we're out and about again at the moment, and on our travels we find ourselves up in Preston at Lancashire DAF, a company that I've been dealing with for more than 30 years, and certainly from my perspective one of the best DAF dealerships in Europe. What the great things about this today is we're looking at the latest XF 530. We're actually realistically showcasing DAF's 25 years as a market leader in this industry. However, what the exciting thing for me about that as well, not only looking at modern technology, but taking back in time slightly to a complete follow-on. And for those who actually have been in the truck job a few years, I'd like to take you back in time slightly and to look at the older version and now the big brother. So it's going to be an interesting couple of minutes to see what's gone on in the 30 years that have passed. So guys, we're here with one of my favourite trucks. I know I've come today to talk about the new big brother, and we'll get to that in a moment. I just want to spend a couple of minutes reminiscing on a bygone year before the electronics, before you need a laptop and an IT degree to fix a truck. You can actually fix it with a spanner and a big hammer. And that's really probably why I'm so excited today. As opposed to this lorry, I'm really pleased to see something like this that's still in existence. And this lorry, really, one of the great things about it for the conversation piece is the forerunner to the XF. Of course, the XF was launched in the UK in 1987, and this was the tractor that ran out behind it. This particular one is an export version which was built in 1991. And the reason that there was a few more of these built is when the early XFs came out, they weren't actually really today. So I think there was a bit of a trade-off over a number of years. And when you look at this being a space cab tractor of the high end of luxury at its time, and then we look at what really you're seeing today in a modern tractor unit, it gives you a feel for how things have really transformed in this industry in a space of 30 years. Of course, 30 years may be a long time to you, but I can assure you the last 30 years have gone by in a blink of an eye. While I've had the opportunity to do this today, and it's not something I even planned when we set out today to do this, with the help of Paul Entwistle, the Managing Director of Lancashire DAF, and his team here, we've managed to steal his beloved tractor unit for a few moments. And what I'd love to do really is quickly show you around a tractor from 30 years ago from those who perhaps haven't seen them, and compare it completely between the two, which is probably not what we started out to do. But quickly I run round the tractor on the outside of this one, and then I run round on the other one, and inside and inside. Give you a comparison of how 30 years have moved on from in a tractor unit world. I think from those who are not really nostalgic about older tractor units, and there are a few about, but I guess there's a lot still out there that are, you'll notice when we move around this tractor unit, there's not a great deal to see. Of course, it was a space cab, but not particularly very spacious, of course, and this is how hard it was to drive, 30 years ago, and hats off to the drivers that were out there managing this kind of vehicle. To a certain degree, it's got doors and a reasonable sized cab, but again, this is a space cab sleeper, so quite challenging from that aspect, of course. I guess to a certain degree, it's a 4x2 tractor unit. It's a standard unit, as you see in a lot of places, but bear in mind that this vehicle is very old, and not only is it vintage now, it's in immaculate condition. But this was what you had to work with every single day, and this was the kind of unit that you saw traipsing up and down the UK roads over the 80s and early 90s, and realistically speaking, this was the star of its day, comparison out there with the major manufacturers. And I guess really what we need to do now is absolutely look at this in a complete contrast with a 2020 tractor unit. Bear in mind that this unit has been operating on the UK roads since 1987. So, childish excitement over, we're back to the reason we came here today. As I said before, this particular tractor unit has been tramping up and down the UK road since 1987, so it's a good while ago. It really has transformed in that time into what you see behind me now, and Some of the equipment on this tractor, of course, is similar to other manufacturers, but in an overall package of reliability and quality, the XF still is a stalwart of the UK fleet service market. Now, realistically, what I want to try and do is have a quick look around some of the things that you can have on this tractor. So we start on the front, which is probably a decent place to start, and you'll see some of the things that you'll never see in some of the older tractors. So LED lighting, not just for your running lights, but all of your lights. And I think, you know, realistically for me, a great opportunity to save money and save downtime and drivers not being able to take units out, of course, when the bulk goes. You know, I think the ability to have modern technology built into tractors is a great thing. You know, adaptive cruise, being able to control the space on the road in front of you and how you mark your distances and give the driver some more comfort. Again, you know, superb and brilliant. You know, this truly is a super space cab, or a space cab. You know, it's a big lorry, plenty of room for the driver to really feel at home in pulling a very big lorry down the road. I mean, again, 530 brake engine as opposed to 330. Again, a marked improvement in pulling power. And I have to say as well, when you look at the diesel emissions between the two and the fuel consumption, you know, truly is an amazing piece of equipment. You know, aluminium wheels, amazing. You know, really is a nice level piece of equipment. But I have to say, you know, on the face of it, barring the extra axle, you know, not a lot has changed on the back half here. But you can see now clearly before the wonderful world of DAF and everyone else jumped down on my throat. There's a lot of things that have changed that you can't see, and we'll talk about those. And of course, remember, all the vehicles you see, with the exception of this one, are available from Prohire, on contract hire, on rental, and our ProFlex operation as well. You know, please jump onto the website for all our details, and we'll be able to help you out with all of those things, including a marvellous piece of equipment as this. One thing that I wanted to leave until just at the end, which I find really great, is as an option from the factory, you can take your force cameras as part of the in-build, which I think is just great. And it really is a good value option too. And it's actually significantly cheaper to do that and have it inbuilt into the vehicle than it is to buy and retrofit. So really quite an option to look at and think about. So I think without further ado, I'm going to do something that I wasn't going to do again, which is actually compare the inside of the elderly tractor unit with its big brother, and to see how things have changed in that period of time, because 35 years ago this was a top of the range tractor against a top of the range tractor from 2020. So let's have a look. So we're now inside the very spacious cab on the 3300 ATI. I guess to a certain degree it's going to take probably only a few seconds to show you all of the wonderful features that you find inside this vehicle, including the air conditioning, which was open the window, which obviously went down particularly well as you were flying down the motorway and it's raining. But you know, I think the ability to have all the functional attributes needed for a tractor unit, they were all here, of course, and you know, a wonderful radio, a tachograph of the old-fashioned type, and you know, a handbrake, steering wheel, and all the things that you would need. Of course, the old type splitter gearbox is still here for those that remember them, and of course it is not that long ago in reality that this was a mainstream tractor unit, and of course as they stopped making them in the late 80s, there were still many of these running for a good number of years on the UK roads thereafter, and for me to see one in this kind of condition again is a great feeling and great buzz to see this kind of unit still operational. So I think there's probably not a great deal to show you other than the fact that this was actually a double sleeper, so it had 2 bunks in this tractor unit, and therefore you would have to get extremely friendly with your co-worker if you were actually endeavouring to sleep in this vehicle on a long journey, I suppose. So again, you know, really interesting throwback to the 80s, and for me quite an interesting one. So let's have a quick look at the big brother, and let's see if we can showcase the differences between the two models. So out comes Doctor Who, and we find ourselves transported 30 years or so further on into the future, and we see tractors that are actually fit for modern purpose and the modern roads. Of course, with this particular edition tractor, the leather that you see in a lot of the other manufacturers is not uncommon, and real high quality. You know, I said in a few of the other vehicles we've been in, you know, they would be resplendent in many of the high-end cars that you see today. Fully functional steering wheels, of course, and all the things that you would expect to see in a modern tractor unit of this quality. On the screen, of course, apart from the departure control, which you expect now on all modern, or you need in all modern tractors, in fact it's standard on all modern vehicles, they have Bluetooth for your tachograph. So if you're set up in your business as this tractor trundles through the gates, you're downloading your tachographs as the vehicle arrives back on site. It's got onboard weighing, so you can weigh each of the axles to ensure that the train that you're pulling, or your train that you're pulling, is equally loaded and your axles are not overloaded at any point. Really very, very good. One of the other things I like about this as well, if you have a modern car, it will tell you exactly how much air is in the tyres. This is exactly the same thing. It gives you a real feel for your control of your tyres as well, which is massively important for the driver, but also for the haulier, for the fuel consumption. So one of my favourite things with this as well, and I guess to a certain degree other manufacturers will do it and follow this, is from the factory now you can install a full force camera system to take it to 3 stars, and I think that's just great. It's actually quite innovative, but it's also relatively cost effective too, and certainly when it comes and turns up at your operation and these things are physically on board and working and form part of the entire vehicle, and also the warranty elements, it gives you a really good setup and to go straight away and move on. And to get to 3 stars, this was always the big conversation around these tractors and these bigger vehicles. Great job, DAF. No, love it, fantastic. Some of the refinements, and I mentioned them probably in our little brother over there, is this truly is a full double sleeper with ladders and proper bunks. Of course, you still have to be fairly friendly with your co-worker, but you know, there's a great deal more space and comfort that you'll be able to find in a big vehicle like this. And of course expected as well in most of the big modern vehicles, just the pull of a switch and out comes a really nice and decent size refrigerator to keep your drinks and milk and so forth cool for your long journeys, and especially your long evenings when you're out and doing the work that you've been paid to do, of course. But this is a very, very nice bit of storage, you know, really nice, fresh, clean, modern vehicle. Yeah, love it, lovely truck, and you'll go a long way to find something different that's going to be as anywhere near as good as this. So we've come to the end of another special edition of Prohire TRUCKTV, and I really hope you've enjoyed the comparison between the decades, of course, and we're looking at tractors that are 30-35 years apart. For me, a great chance to see an old friend, and great to be able to sit in a new friend, if you like, and friends that we've made over the past few years as these trucks have got better and better and better. Hope you've liked it. If you do like it, please subscribe. It makes things really more exciting for us as well to see all our new subscribers coming on board. It's great to see that, and please like it. You know, we do our very best to try and bring new technology, new things that are on the ground, but of course we've now started sprinkling 1 or 2 of the older things as well, which hey, why not? And so thanks again for watching Prohire TRUCKTV, and we'll see you again next time.